Reflux esophagitis is a technical term, also known as gastro-oesophageal reflux disease, or GORD. This is a general term which is used to describe when someone experiences acid or acidic food from the stomach, which leaks into the lower gullet and causes symptoms. A person may have acid reflux with or without esophagitis. So the term esophagitis means that there's been some inflammation or breach in the lining of the gullet, and it's mainly found out like objectively when someone has a camera test actually. So symptoms mainly involve burning sensation in the lower part of the chest, which can actually happen after meals, and it can sort of raise up into the neck as well. So they can have a positional component. For example, when someone's lying down in night time and wake up with a lot of burning, then that's one sort of indication that it has a positional component. And sometimes patients, when they lean forward, if they've got a sort of laxity at the valve at the lower part of the gullet, that can, make the food contents come into the lower gullet as well. So in addition, they can also have a variety of other sort of associated symptoms like, discomfort at the lower part of the gullet or a lower chest, belching, burping symptoms. So these can all be associated with reflux as well. So to determine how long does it take to heal, it depends whether it's mild or severe. So most of the mild sort of conditions, it just improves with acid medication, and a small proportion of patients still have symptoms despite treatment. That's when they need specialist input. The severe ones, which sort of ulcerations in the lower part of the gullet, they require a bit more longer acid treatment. So it varies between patient to patient, really. It basically, reflux esophagitis is a condition which is quite common, and also the symptoms are quite common as well. But if they don't have any alarm symptoms, and if there's no sort of interference with the daily activities, then some patients sort of require a bit of medication on and off to keep their symptoms under control. And also knowing about the trigger factors like lifestyle and smoking, excess alcohol, lack of exercise, and the trigger foods. So these sort of things I usually stress to patients to be aware of. So once patients have a control over these things, then it might be feasible to sort of get the symptoms under control. So this is again very subjective because one food might be okay for one person, whereas the same thing can trigger some symptoms for other person. So keeping a food diary is quite helpful because we know that certain foods like acidic foods and fried foods, fatty foods can trigger a lot of excess acid production. And keeping a log of which foods are triggering might be quite useful. We've also found certain beverages like coffee, sometimes chocolate, and there's a variety of foods which can cause it. But when they've identified certain foods, we recommend them not to completely avoid them, but just reduce it in moderation, because some patients avoid them completely, and sometimes the result can be a nutrition deficiency. So it's just slowly reintroducing it at very low quantities might be a suitable option.